Eden Zero, chapter 120 is upon us, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about with this one, so let us dive straight into it and immediately discuss the cover page, because there could possibly be a hint to the future of a character here, that character being Laguna. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say this, then let me inform you. Hiro Mashima, for a while now, has been leaving noticeable details in his cover pages that give clues about what's going to happen with the story. For example, there's the famous cover page for chapter 32 I think, where Rebecca just has like straight up cat ears. It wasn't like a headpiece or anything like that, they were real cat ears, and that was obviously a clue towards Cat Leaper. Also, you got Shiki, who is sitting right next to Rebecca wearing a shirt called Satan's Gravity, which we later found out just so happens to be the name of his ether gear. But then you got the equally, if not more famous cover page from Heroes Chapter 8 that contained 3 different characters, one from Wraith Master, one from Fairy Tail, and one from Eden Zero. Now the first 2 just so happen to be the main villains of their respective universes. And that kind of should have just been an obvious clue right there, but during the time that Heroes was weekly, Ziggy was dead. So you know, we had no idea that he would eventually become the main villain. He would eventually join them, you know? Most just thought it was a cover page showing off the most powerful of the respective universes. We now know that not to be the case. But anyways, with that info now dispersed, let's go back to the cover page of Eden Zero chapter 120, to Laguna and Rebecca. But more specifically, their shirts. Because Laguna's says bad end, but really it says bad end. Meanwhile, Rebecca's says true end. What this whole thing is saying to me, and mind you, this is just a theory, and if it does happen, it won't come to fruition for a long time. But nevertheless, what this is saying to me is there will come a day where Rebecca does a world jump, and in that world, Laguna will die. And there won't be another world jump to bring him back. He's gonna stay dead, meaning the pact that he made with Witch won't come true. So no husbando, and no peace, and no comfort. If Hiro actually does do this, that's a ballsy play, because Laguna, despite not being really all that relevant, has still become a fan favorite in Eden Zero, and he's for sure only going to get more popular. So I'm possibly seeing some massive fan outrage in the future, but nothing is guaranteed here. I could be completely wrong. Even still, keep an eye on Laguna. That's quite enough about all of that though, so moving on. We're not gonna go very far into the chapter, however, because I gotta talk about this moment right here. This moment makes me happy. I like this moment quite a lot. Cause your boy, and I'ma keep it real here, has always been more of a fan of Shiki x Homura rather than Shiki x Rebecca. I know the latter is basically canon at this point due to the heroes in many Eden Zero chapters prior to this one, but I can still dream, can't I? There's many different worlds out there, and maybe in one of them my ship is a reality. It might even actually be this one, because in this world, Rebecca is dead as fuck. Maybe. Actually, probably not. We'll talk about that later, though. And just to clear the air here, I don't hate the Rebecca and Shiki ship. I still really like it. I just got my preferences, bro. Also, that bug moment was absolutely hilarious, and you're not gonna tell me otherwise. Shiki and Homura's relationship stays unmatched. Now, if only they could take it further. Moving on, though, well, actually, moving back to this maybe new world thing, but before we talk exactly about that, I gotta talk about how Rebecca died. So Rebecca was fighting Brittany, and it was not going well for her at all. The only thing she really had over Brittany was speed, but that didn't really matter because even though she was fast, she couldn't deal any damage. Literally, no matter how hard she tried. After realizing her situation, Rebecca picked up Happy and Pino and ran away. Side note here, Hero, I'ma need you to give Rebecca like some sort of effect when she's running, like the Flash or Quicksilver or something like that, cause this is not it. Give her like lightning or something, dude. Anyways, after putting some distance between her and Brittany, Rebecca makes it back to the town they had just left. She then gets the idea to use a vacuum to suck up her smoky opponent, putting an end to the battle. So Rebecca runs to an electric electric store with Brittany now hot on her case, picks up a vacuum and gets ready to defeat her opponent, but the machine doesn't start. It's got a user lock. Pino wakes up and tries to give her the password in time, but she's too late. Brittany unleashes poison smoke upon Rebecca and it burns her flesh away, killing her. Only for a moment though, because time rewinds to just before Rebecca enters the electric store. This allows Rebecca to run into the store, disable the lock on the vacuum, suck up Brittany, and then punt her into space, I'm guessing? Now my confusion about whether or not this is a different world comes from the fact that Rebecca stated that after using Cat Leaper, that this use of her time ability felt different than the last. She then questions whether or not this is actually World 31. And although she says that she thinks time just went backwards and that there was no world hopping to be seen, it's never clearly stated if that is the case or not. But for right now, I'm just gonna go with she went back in time, no world hopping included, which now that I think about it is fucking whack. Because that takes away the most interesting part of her power. Her power kind of had like a negative effect to it, but now it's basic time travel. And that, in and of itself, is also a very dangerous move to make. Like, if you want to talk about the best way to remove the threat of danger from your story, ain't really no better way than this, bro. Except for maybe giving everyone the ability to talk no jutsu their opponent. That might be better. But listen, at the end of the day, I still have faith in Hiro. He will somehow make all of this work. You still have to kill Rebecca for the time travel to even activate, but I don't know, man. I'm a little worried about this. Also, that kind of throws my whole Laguna theory even more into question. Maybe even out the flippin' window, dude. But like I said, I have faith Hiro will make this whole thing work. He might have just written himself into a corner, though. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this one, so thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody. Yeah.